good evening, Internet. It is I, the Real Shroom, and tonight I'm going to head into tGO to play a Modern League. And MH3 format Modern is a very scary place. There's a lot of very cheap, efficient, and powerful threats out there that need good answers to deal with them. So I have a feeling that my Hate Rack deck, which I've played once before on the channel, might have the answers that we need to thrive in this format. What is Hate Rack? Let's take a look. So we are a resource denial deck, and we use elements of traditional 8 rack decks, such as rack pieces. We have a total of 5 rack pieces, 4 racks and 1 Shrieking Affliction. And we are also a Smallpox deck. So Smallpox does everything that we want to do as a resource denial deck. It makes our opponent sack a creature, discard a card, and sack a land. And it also does a point of damage to boot. So we're dovetailing that into 3 mana land destruction effects like Molten Rain, which also does 2 damage if it destroys a non-basic land of our opponent. We have a 3-1 split of Molten Rain and Pillage, which has the same mana cost as Molten Rain, but can also destroy an artifact. And we've loaded with discard. We've got our 4 Thoughtseizes, 2 Inquisitions. We've got a couple of Blightnings. Now, this is a card you probably haven't seen in a really long time, and it probably hasn't been thought of as playable in Modern in a really long time. This used to be Lightning Skelementals, but I've kind of pivoted back to Blightnings because the Skelementals are just too vulnerable to Orcish Bowmasters, whereas this always does 3 damage and makes our opponent discard 2. So that's cool. You know, this would traditionally be in an 8-rack deck. It would be like a Wrench Mind is a more efficient discard 2 spell, but we're playing the Rakdos version, so want to throw in a little spice there. And we've got the 3 Liliana the Veils, which are good for killing creatures, also good for, you know, repeated discard effects. And we're playing a 2 of Kroxa, which is kind of, instead of playing Raven's Crime, we're playing this. Raven's Crime is like a repeatable discard effect. We have that with Kroxa, but stapled to a 6/6 body, which can come out of our graveyard. It's a little bit of a non-bow between Smallpox and Kroxa because it does require 4 lands in order to, you know, escape Kroxa from the graveyard, but this is really like a late game closer. We should be able to swing that in the late game. In the meantime, it's just a Raven's Crime, discard a card for 2 mana. And yeah, we were also got some removal. We got the 4 Fatal Push, 4 Lightning Bolts. I think these cards are extraordinarily good in Modern Horizons 3 Modern because they kill all of the 1 mana Planeswalkers which everyone wants to play. They were already really good before MH3, but now with the printing of like the Soul Guide and the you know, the dinosaur that lets you cascade with energy, the Arcane Raptor, I think it's called. These cards are really, really especially good and very important, and that's kind of the crux of why I think this deck might be so good, is because it does run full play sets of Fatal Push and Lightning Bolts. And we've got a 1 of Engrass Rampage, so this is just a hate piece for the 1 ring. Hopefully our opponent won't resolve a 1 ring, because we'll Thoughtseize it from them before they're able to do so, or limit them to not having enough lands on the battlefield with our Smallpox and LD effects, where they won't be able to afford 4 mana to cast it. But in the event that we do, it's kind of a disaster for us, because they can just draw a bunch of cards off of it. The 1 ring is a main board way to make them sacrifice an artifact. It can also, you know, kill creatures and Planeswalkers as well. So 5 True Racks, a bunch of discard, a bunch of removal, and some damage. You know, we've got our Lightning Bolts for burn, we've got Kroxa for burn, Blightning also burns, Molten Rain burns. So although we're only running 5 True Racks, you know, we can still finish our opponent out by burning them in the face, which is something that I enjoy. So there's a total of 25 lands in the deck, including 2 Surveil lands, 1 Den of the Bugbear, and 1 Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Can help us close out games as creature lands. I am trying 1 of the MDFCs. This is the only main board card that I have from Modern Horizons 3, is this Bogart's Trawler. Of course, since we're a discard deck, you know, we're going to be feeling our opponent's graveyard, so we want ways to answer that in the main board. That's what this can do. It can just be an untapped black source, or for 3 mana, it can be a 3/1 that exiles our opponent's graveyard when it ETBs, which is great. Speaking of which, I also have a 1 of Bojuka Bog in my mana base for Graveyard Hate. The sideboard contains 2 Vexing Baubles. I'm a big fan of this card. It shuts down all of those evoked elementals, it shuts down Cascade, it shuts down the Arcane Raptor, so this is just a great piece. I really wish I could get into 3rd copy, but I've only got 2 for today. A Pithing Needle and a Disruptor Flute do what these cards do. They're very disruptive. They shut out particularly strong cards like Yawgmoth, etc. A couple of other ends are our artifact removal in addition to the main board Angarat's Rampage. Usually this will be used to sweep away like stuff that's created by Urza's Saga, so that's why it's there. 3 of Goblin Rabblemaster and 2 Dothy Voidwalker. So we have a limited ability to pivot to like a mid-range deck. After game 1, our opponent may think that we don't really have creatures, so they might board out all of their, creature removal, and we juke them by boarding in our Voidwalkers. Voidwalkers are, of course, very good with discard anyway, and Rabblemasters are just a 3-drop that can take over the game on their own. I wonder if this is really the best red 3-drop for this sort of plan. I mean, obviously, Fable the Mirror Breaker is something you could play, but I hate that card and would never play it. Bone Crusher Giant might even be just a better option for this role than Goblin Rabblemaster, but we're playing Rabs today. And we've got a couple of Surgical Extraction for combo decks and Go Blanks for Graveyard Hate and additional Mind Rots. So that's the plan. We're going to beat MH3 by being extremely interactive and disruptive. We're going to destroy our opponent's hand, kill everything they get on the board, and blow up their lands to boot, so that those cards will just be sitting in their hand, ready for us to Thoughtseize them, Liliana them, Blightning them away, and then we'll kill with the Rack, Burn, and Kroxa. So let's see if this deck has what it takes to compete in MH3 Modern. I think it is good for all the reasons that I mentioned, but we'll see. In testing, it's been decent, but how will it fare in a league? That's what we're about to find out. If you like off-meta, off-kilter MTG content, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Okay, our first opponent is NLP, and we're going to be on the draw. I apologize if my stream is a little noisier than usual. It is the 4th of July today, so in my neighborhood, people light off tons of illegal fireworks. You'll probably hear some explosions, but it's also very extremely hot, and it's just intolerable with my fan off, so I have to have it on. I'm sorry. Otherwise, you would watch me just disintegrate. Our hand looks good. We've got a turn 1 Thoughtseize. We don't have much after that, however, but we'll keep. We're on the draw. We'll draw good stuff. We've got 2 Survey lands. I've become quite a fan of those. Alright, so they bolt in a Foul Mire and go for an Inquisition. Probably going to take our Thoughtseize. The noise has started. Yes, people get started very early with their fireworks here. Way too early, some might argue, considering it's so bright outside you wouldn't be able to see anything yet. They take Shrieking Affliction. Interesting. Maybe they have another Thoughtseize from my other rack. Okay. I think I am just going to... I'm gonna Swamp and Thoughtseize. Alright, so it's Necrodominance. Well, that's another thing we didn't want to see. They've only got 2 lands, and we do have a Smallpox. Is our plan to just try to keep them off 3 land? I think I take Grief. Okay, they drew a land for turn. We draw Lightning Bolts. So do we Smallpox here? They've got the Necrodominance next turn if we don't, so I think that we do. We'll discard Liliana, probably. Or Bolt. I think Bolt, actually. They discard one of their Necrodominance. We'll sack our swamp. Okay, so their hand is Swamp, March, Necrodominance. Another Thoughtseize would be nice. Bogart Trawler, rather, is not really what we're looking for. So we'll just play it as a tap land. Okay, so let's hope they don't have land number 3. Noise is the name of the game here. Some Yahoo just went by with what sounded like M80 setting off all the car alarms. Yeah. March Necrodom, unknown. They have a grief. Okay. So they take my Liliana. That's kind of bold of them. Well, here's a hive. They are under rack now. I would love to find like a Molten Rain. Disruptor Flute. Naming Liliana. Oh, Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Okay. Molten Rain. No. Ugh. We need to find something. A Thoughtseize. A Molten Rain. A Blightning. No, Blightning wouldn't even do it. Smallpox. Oh, man. Brick City. Okay, they're whiffing on land number 3, which is good for us. Another rack is not what we need. Okay, they're continuing to whiff. I mean, the door's open for us to get a good draw here. They're gonna get it. They're gonna get it. Yep. There's the Necrodominance. See how many cards they draw. We had so many turns to find something. Let's go ahead and do our surveil. Smallpox. I don't know. Does that do... Is that good? I don't think it really does anything. Doesn't do enough. I should have waited till after they decided how many cards. But I'm always afraid that MTGO won't give me priority. They drew up to 11 cards. Alright, let's find some burn. Alright, yep, they've got the soul spikes now. Okay, it is safe to concede this game. Wait, your maximum hand size is 5, yeah. So they're going to be above rack level at all times. Yep, double soul spike means we can't win. So that was very unfortunate. We had them right where we wanted them. So I think we want surgical extraction. I think that's all that we bring in. Cut some fatal push. They do have like the sleeper agent, which can target, but bolt can target that too. Is there anything else that's good? They might be boarding out their answers to stuff, so maybe we try to go for this plan. Nah, I think we stick with our main game plan and just do better at drawing good cards. We've got a surgical, but we have no Thoughtseize. We do have a Smallpox, which might keep them off of turn 3 Necrodominance. I guess we'll keep. We get a Surveil, too. Possibly 2 Surveils. We'll definitely bin that. They shock an Inquisition. They take Smallpox. Alright, let's draw a Thoughtseize or an Inquisition. How about a Polluted Delta? Alright. I'm just gonna go for another Surveil. See if I can find something. We'll just play our rack. Bolt in another land. Disruptor Flute. Well, we better use this. Now. Go for Survey Land number 2. Molten Rain. I can get behind a Molten Rain. They named Kroxa. Alright, let's get a swamp. Molten Rain. Blow up your lands. Do 2 damage to you. Shambling Ghast. We got a Bolt. That's good. Play our Den. We Can't cast Kroxa because of the flute. Are they going to bolt in their Agademe? Yes. So Necrodominance coming. Maybe they'll spend themselves to 3. And we can bolt them. No Necrodominance. Why did they bolt in that 3rd land? Let's go with the Lily. Well, plus... what do we discard? Surgical? Kroxa we can almost play just as a discard 1. Definitely want to keep Bolt. If they had Necrodominance, they would have played it already, right? So our window to surgical it probably has passed. Then again, Kroxa is just a 5 mana discard 1. Yeah, I think surgical is better than Kroxa in this situation. They discard a March. Okay. Bowmasters. Everyone after Lily. I could bolt something and save Lily. I think I like that. Give her another activation. We could extract Bowmasters. They have Shielded Grief the One Ring. Okay. They really don't have... they only have 1 Bowmasters. Okay. Well, their hand is super busted. Let's pillage their land. Pillaging the flute might not have been bad either. Let's plus. Make you discard. They discard Grief. So they have shielded the One Ring. And we start getting rack triggers. Alright, so Lily's down. Smallpox? No. Alright, let's just hit them with our goblin. They go down to 2. No land, no land, no land. No land. Okay, they don't have the land. That's good for us. They're just staying back. Hive of the Eye Tyrants. Alright. We're just doing this again, it looks like. They've got a Flare of Malice. So they kill both our dudes. So they do take a point of rack damage. Blightning. There we go. Okay, that one almost slipped away from us also, but we got there. And is there anything we want to change? The flutes are a little annoying. Actually, I think I want my own flute plus a pithing needle for the one ring. I'll go down one Kroxa and one Lily. Okay. We can Disruptor Flute the one ring, that's good. Our mana's pretty awkward. But I think we'll keep it. Again, shocking, bolting their land on turn 1. So all 3 games they've had the turn 1 discard spell. Good for them. They've had to bolt to do it every time. They take Pillage. Another Molten Rain, I like it. So let's go Bajuka Bog. Since it's in always tap land. I would love to draw an untapped land for this Disruptor Flutes. Because I think I would put it on Necrodominance, Thoughtseize. They take a Molten Rain. Okay, there's an untapped land. So let's do Necrodominance. More lands. Oh, I can't Molten Rain. Oh no. Because of my awkward mana. That's too bad. Well, they still won't be able to play Necrodominance, but they could play the One Ring. Bowmasters. Sure, we'll just go ahead and Fatal Push that, I guess. There's 4 mana. The One Ring. And now we lose. That sucks. Okay. Liliana. Fine. I guess we're gonna blow up a land. But with the One Ring, Like, they can just draw so many cards. Ugh, man, everything went so badly for us. Our deck just did not help us out. Draw 2 cards. If I could find a Pithing Needle, that wouldn't be bad. But now they have 4 mana, so they can Grief, they can Shieldred. Shieldred. And yeah, I don't think we can win from here. It's possible we should have named the One Ring with our Disruptor Flute rather than Necrodominance. In any case, it would have been nice to get, you know, like a Thoughtseize or an Inquisition at some point in this match, but we never did. So, yeah, I don't know what we can do here except, I don't know, make you sack something. They can sack the Ghast and get a treasure, so that's not even good. So one thing that was, yeah, we can concede. This game's over. I'll go one more draw step. We'll see if we draw the Pithing Needle, but even then, it's not enough. So after Nadu, which pretty much everyone in the world believes will get banned, guess what the most played card was at the Pro Tour? The One Ring. Who would have thought? Inquisition. Yeah, these games would have been very nice if we could have drawn some of these cards. It's possible there should be 7. We're running 6 1-mana discard spells. We can talk about this in the final thoughts portion. This game's over. Alright, GG's. Well, our deck failed us hard, but we did get game 2. Should have got game 1 also. Alright, match 2, we're against Suro Hanzu in their Krinko Mob Boss avatar. We'll be on the draw. And we have a tap land turn 1, but our hand's good, so I think we'll keep. Alright, so probably Yawgmoth here. Blightning. Blackcleave Cliffs. I think we want more lands. Innkeeper. Young Wolf. Yep, definitely Yawgmoth. So I think I want to bolt before I Thoughtseize. Before I Smallpox, rather. So yeah, let's bolt the Halfling. Let's Thoughtseize. Honest Rustine. Okay, Twilight Mire Underground Mortuary is their hand. So they bend another land. Um, let's go for another Thoughtseize. Double lands. And let's Kroxa. Smallpox. See, pillaging means they still have 4 mana with which to cast Yawgmoth. I think I like it though. Doesn't really matter too much which one I choose. Getting more cards in our graveyard is good. Fatal Push is good. Let's go ahead and Blightning. Tapping triple green for endurance. Alright, if I can draw a land, a Kroxa would actually seems very good on this board. And I do need it very quickly. And they get their MH3 creature. Blood Crypt, which exiles our graveyard. Okay, nice. Good draw. Okay, so what do we want here? Like Brotherhood's End seems decent. Surgical Extraction. I think we'll board out our Kroxas. Let's try for the creature heavy plan and see how we do there. If we're boarding in Brotherhood's End, we maybe don't want to do that, actually. Yeah, let's just go at Brotherhood's End, Surgicals. Get rid of the Kroxas. Angrath's Rampage. They could have like a Soul Cauldron, but we can just Surgical Extraction anything relevant. Gobble isn't good against Young Wolf. Dothy Voidwalker is, though. Cut a Lily. Cut Shrieking Affliction. Smallpox honestly isn't the best, but I'm going to keep it in because it's fun. Cut a Bolt. This hand looks good. I think I'll start on a Surveil. Or should I start on Thoughtseize? Actually, I think I'll start on Thoughtseize. I am going to shock, unfortunately, since I have a double red card in hand. Fatal Push, Halfling, Birthing Ritual. and another Bogarts. Do I take Birthing Ritual? That's a very dangerous card. I think so. They can have their halfling for now. That card seems really bad for us. We can Smallpox or Brotherhood's End their halfling away. Thoughtseize. Okay. Rack on top. I do want to rack at some point. I don't think that point is now, however. Another halfling. The land. Fatal Push. Guess I'll take their land. Can I draw a land, please? Tap land. They have Pendlehaven, Fatal Push, Unknown. Let's play our land. Okay, that is a land. We want that. So we'll keep that on top. I could Smallpox. That sets them down 2 mana effectively. The thing is, I can just Brotherhood's End next turn. Alright. I think I'm going for Smallpox. What to discard? Probably Dothy Voidwalker. Because they do have a Fatal Push. They might discard it right here. But also my Brotherhood's End killed it. I think it's better to have Brotherhood's End. Because they are going to have a leftover halfling. They discarded Pendlehaven. So they have Fatal Push plus Unknown. Okay, so let's Blightning. They had a Yawg and a Fatal Push. Okay. They've been a delighted halfling. Fatal push. Alright. We're just gonna kill their halfling. So, here we are. They have one. They're top decking. We're top decking. This is where we want to be. Pillage. So now we'd like to draw a rack. More fatal push. Here comes the Bowmaster. Yep. Bolt. Halfling. That's a 2/2 orc, huh? I guess I'll kill it. And I'll kill the halfling. Bolts. Land. Another Bowmaster. Endurance. I messed up a little bit. I probably took at least one more hit from the Orcish army than I should have. I don't have any more surveillance left. Lily would be good. I need to be able to deal with endurance or I'm dead. They're gonna Bowmaster here. Opponent's stopping on my upkeep. Surgical extraction. Well, I'm just dead to the endurance. So that doesn't do anything for me. Yep, we're dead. GG's. Alright, we'll be on the play against Premium Shine. And this hand looks pretty good. Gigantha. That could mean Tron. Which we're not good against at all. Could mean a lot of things. I think we'll keep this. We'll lead on a fetch land and bolt if needed. If not, we'll fetch a surveil land. Fetch Shock Inquisition. Okay. Takes Blightning. We'll get our second surveil land. Fatal Push. Probably bin that. Bugbear. So we'll play this surveil land. Does mean that our Bugbear is now going to be a tap land, but that's okay. Molten Rain's good. So they're Jund. Ren in 6. Yup. That's a problem. So much for our LD plan. I guess I bolt the Ren in 6. So that if I draw another bolt, it'll die. Sure, let's Molten Rain. Saga. Okay, let's play our Den. Let's Liliana. Plus. We'll discard a Blood Crypt. They discard a land also. So one thing could be considered is replacing some number of Fatal Push with... Oh, that's a good draw. Okay. Let's just... bolt the Ren in 6. Plus... little bit of a problem now is that Lily is vulnerable to attack. They can get like a 3/3 construct with a Shadow Spear or something. Saga doing Saga stuff. They do go down to land. They have a Nihil Spell Bomb. Okay. Attacking Lily, sure. So, Smallpox would be a great draw for us. Another Urza's Saga. Kroxa. Well, that's not so great, considering they have a Nihil Spell Bomb. I'm just gonna die to this Urza's Saga. Um, yeah, I guess I gotta try to minimize the number of constructs. Cast Kroxa. So they're gonna have to use their spell bomb before I escape Kroxa. Maybe they'll leave me a window inadvertently. Just making a construct. Okay. Okay, they do use the spell bomb. Well, they didn't let themselves use black mana with it, so that's good for us. But they do exile our graveyard. Interesting that they chose that as their first artifact. Bajuka Bog. I don't think this does anything to them. Did you play Ren in 6, I guess? There's the Shadow Spear. Is it sus that they chose Nihil Spellbomb as their first artifact? It's a little sus. Renin 6 to boot. Okay, I think we can scoop here. There's nothing we have that can bring us back from this. So, yeah, we got Junded there. Let's get a couple of these guys and a couple of these guys. I think that's it, right? Let's cut a Kroxa. Cut a Bolt. Yeah, one Lily. I'll cut both the Kroxas, because the first thing they're going to fish up is going to be Nihil Spellbomb. Alright, we've got good stuff here, so let's play. Let's go for Inquisition. Terminate, Spellbomb, Lightning Bolt, Fatal Push. I really don't care about any of those. I guess Bolt can hit Lily. Cause do we have anything? Do we even have any targets for those? For Fatal Push and Terminate? Inquisition. Pithing Needle, Spellbomb, Fatal Push, Terminates. Guess I'll take Pithing Needle. That's their hand, right? Okay. Play a Urborg, I guess. It kind of helps their mana, unfortunately, but that can sometimes happen when you play Urborg. They find the Renin 6. They don't have any lands in their graveyard, fortunately. Another Brotherhood's End. We could Smallpox them, but then they just discard Urza's Saga. Ugh, I need my Needle. Or Engrass Rampage. What I was going to say is there is definitely a question as to whether some Fatal Push should be Long Goodbyes or Shieldred's Edict. I think I like Long Goodbye better, and I think we're seeing pretty clearly that maybe that would be good. Because I have no play here. I could Smallpox, but it hurts me much more than it does them. Ragavan. Let's go ahead and kill that. Alright, what I want to see is a Needle or a Flute. Yeah, without a needle or a flute, we can't beat Ren in 6. Just recycling Urza's Sagas. Do I Smallpox now, or do I wait? I guess I'm waiting. This is looking real bad. Yeah, Needle isn't even really, or Brotherhood's End isn't great. Needle isn't great as an answer to Ren in 6 because I'm gonna have to Brotherhood's End to deal with those constructs. So what I need is like Angrath's Rampage, the Rack. I think I'll play the Rack. I'm gonna wait. See if I can sweep their first set of constructs. Oh, the Brotherhood's End is gonna kill the Rack too. Should have waited on that. So Urza's Saga is still really, really good. They're just gonna get it back with Ren in 6. So's Ren in 6. They recycle their Urza Saga, they replay it. Haywire Might, sure. Blightning. Alright, we're going artifact mode. Inquisition. Yeah, I mean, our hand's pretty garbo. This is what happens when you don't have a plan of dealing with Ren in 6. This 2-mana Planeswalker. It just takes over the game. It's one of the most dangerous cards in Modern. More lands. Well, let's Blightning you. So their card in hand is Fatal Push. See what other 1-mana artifacts they have to tutor up. Soul Guide Lantern. When 6 gets backers, a Saga. Yep, that is the reason why we are going to lose this game. Tarmogoyf. Rack. That's not going to be fast enough. Let's see. Yeah, I'm actually just dead on the next turn, even if I Smallpox. Boo. Alright, match number 4 will be on the play against Myron the Wall. And we've got some decent opening hand, so we'll keep. I'll just fetch a Surveil if nothing untoward occurs. Cycling a Street Wraith. They've been in Orcish Bowmaster. Are they Living End? We're not looking for a swamp. Like a Thoughtseize would be good. Well, it sucks to give this away right away, but we want to use our mana efficiently. So I'll just play the Rack, hold up Fatal Push. Wayfinder. Gets a Nurturing Peatland. Dragon Skull Summits. I think we'll go for Smallpox here. You got a fireworks show right outside your window, huh? Nice. We'll discard one of our lands. Get rid of our mountain. They discarded Thoughtseize. They're not interested in Thoughtseizing. Another Satyr Wayfinder. So they have a forest in hand. Liliana. Alright, let's Molten Rain them. Ignoble Hierarch times 2. Okay. That's pretty good. Kroxa. Alright, let's Kroxa. Make you discard. Let's push one of these hierarchs. Bowmasters. Bloodstained Mire. Alright, let's go Lily. Plus... Alright, the rack will start triggering. They're gonna sack their peatland to draw a card. Everything at Lily. What would I like to draw? A Blightning? Okay, give me a good Surveil deck. Come on, hook me up. Blightning. We'll take it. Alright, they're in full-on rack mode now. They have access to 3 mana, so they're probably a Yawgmoth deck, right? Grist, White of the Reliquary. No, they're definitely a graveyard deck, but not necessarily Yawgmoth. Right, a lot of good draws here. Fatal Push. Get rid of their Ignoble Hierarch. Visagiu gets rid of the rack. Oh, man. Okay. Well, we still have the ability to deal damage. Satyr Wayfinder. Still have lots of ways in our deck to deal damage. We have 4 more racks as well. Urborg. Completely unhelpful. The chump crew getting in. Another bowmaster. It means that it's lethal, right? Yep. Boo, man. Well, we came very close. So we want what? Go Blank, their graveyard deck. I think we want Brotherhood's End. Lily. Those stupid Wayfinders are very good at finding them lands. Blightning. Ingrath's Rampage. They have Grist. So that could be good for Grist. Cut one Kroxa, one. Cut a Thoughtseize, maybe? Okay, mana's a little awkward, but our hand is good, so we'll keep. We're starting on a tap land. Another survey land? Yeah, I think we want that, right? We'll take another survey land. Alright, let's Thoughtseize. Whites, Bowmasters, Fiend Artisan, Bird of Paradise. They don't have green mana currently. So they can actually play Bowmaster and Fiend Artisan. So I probably should take one of those. Probably Bowmaster. It's a little more annoying because it puts multiple bodies on the battlefield. And I think I'll play a Dragon Skull and hold up a bolt for the bird if they play it. If they find a green source, which they don't, thankfully. Okay. Here I'll just surveil. At this point, I'm not looking for another land. I'll play Shrieking Affliction, hold up the bolts. I did bring in Go Blanks, right? Okay, they missed a land drop. That's good for us. Fatal push. Let's go for Lily. Start plussing. Bowmasters. Alright. I think we'll bolt Bowmasters. Discard a land. Bowmasters is the most annoying card. Unearth on Bowmasters. Oh, White of the Reliquary. Okay. So let's Inquisition. Yeah, they've got a lot of good stuff if they ever find green mana. Take the Fiend Artisan because they can actually cast it? Probably. Yeah, their hand is going to be hard for us to deal with right now. We could use, like, Brotherhood's End. They discarded Birds of Paradise. Yeah, it's just such an annoying card. It's very good against Liliana the Veil, because it just puts 2 bodies on the battlefield every time. The Rack. Okay. They discard Endurance. I did board in Go Blank, right? Grave Strength. Ooh. It's gonna make that into a 9/9. Another Rack. Grave Strength. Does that exile when they cast it? Choose target creature, mill 3 cards, then put a +1/+1 counter on it. It's from Fate Reforged. Okay. And we actually just died to their Orc army. Man, that's disappointing. That sucked. We had them with 0 green mana, and they still beat us down with an Orcish Bowmaster. Time for match 5 on the play against Surikits and their Demi-Lich avatar. We'll play first. And we have a good opening hand, so we'll keep. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize. Talisman, Dismember, Devourer of Destiny. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You can put one of those cards back on top. Exile the rest. Okay. So they're a big mana deck. They're gonna Ugin's Labyrinth, their Devourer. So I guess we take the Devourer, because that turns Ugin's Labyrinth into a soul land. It would be nice to get rid of their Talisman, but I think this is better. They're Tron. So there's a power plant. I think I'm gonna Surveil here. Start Stone Raining. The Rack. Do we want to draw the Rack? I don't think we do right now. There's their Talisman. an expedition map. Okay. Play our Urborg. They have a stop in our draw step. Let's Molten Rain the tower. Oh, there go the fireworks. I hope they're fireworks. Mine, which they've drawn. Okay, let's pillage power plants, I guess. They grab a power plant with their map. Just bolt myself in Thoughtseize. They don't use their graveyard for anything, I don't think. Sure, why not? Hey, it's my first time bolting myself with an MH3 land. Karn and Dismember. Get rid of Karn. Power plant, Labyrinth, Dismember, Forest is their hand. So they got a whole lot, not very much going on as of right now. They drew Urza's Saga. Inquisition. Take away Dismember. Could Smallpox? They have a power plant in their hands. If I Smallpox, they're just gonna sack their Urza Saga, which will go away anyway. But that's good, right? I would prefer to get like an actual permanent land from them. No, they sacked their Tron land. They want to make constructs. Draw land. And are we just going to lose to Urza Saga? Probably. Make a 2/2. Making 3/3. Or a 4/4, rather. They get an expedition map, so they got Tron coming. There's a Rack. We're actually dead to the constructs right now, though, so that's too bad. So we want Brotherhood's End. We want our Pithy Needles. Anything else? We have a lot of cards that are bad. Like Fatal Push. Doesn't do anything. Maybe we bring in our creatures since we have like a lot of stuff that's just not good. I guess Fatal Push kills the constructs, though. That's the thing. And Smallpox, LD is just good against them. Maybe I don't want the Brotherhood's End, and I do want my Rabs. We haven't tried the Rabs yet this league, so let's try them out. And the Dothies. Actually, I think I like Fatal Push better than Bolts. We'll cut a Blightning. A Liliana. And Inquisition. We've got a Pithy Needle and a one-lander. That's mulligan. Okay, Pillage is good. Got a Rack. Ingrath's Rampage. Not great, but that's okay. We'll keep this. And bottom. A Swamp. Alright, we're just gonna go get a Surveil land here. I will rack just because mana efficiency. Alright, well, good thing we have a mana disruption, because they're going to have Tron. Be nice to find more. Oh yeah, Molten Rain is great. Okay, so we will Molten Rain. They grab Tower. Bloodstained Mire. Okay, that's another Surveil. So let's pillage the tower. Alright, if we can continue finding disruption, like more LD would be good. Because they're not doing much. Let's get a good Surveil here. Dothy. I think Dothy's okay. We can get a clock going. Hugin's Labyrinth does not exile anything. Smallpox, ooh. As much as I would love to LD them again, that would get rid of my Dothy. So I don't think I want to do that. They wouldn't actually disrupt Tron anyway, because they can just sack the Labyrinth. Kozilek's command. They're gonna scry one and draw a card and get one of those things, okay? The One Ring! Well, we can make him sack it. Pithy Needle. We could also needle the One Ring. I think I kind of like that better. Because that way they still take damage from it every turn. Go, Dothy, go. Walk that void. Always yield to the One Ring. Another Kozilek's command. Okay. So they've got a bunch of spawn. Just a land. Alright. Go, Dothy, go. There's Karn. And let's see what horrible thing they get from their sideboard. Oh, they're just gonna animate the One Ring. Okay. That's actually not bad for us. More racks. Okay, you can sacrifice a Planeswalker. I could actually Dothy the Karn. But what do I have in my sideboard that's good? Nothing really. I have Disruption Flute. No, I actually boarded that in. I could start killing their Eldrazi spawn. Is that better than just attacking for 3 with Dothy? I kind of think it is. Because, yeah, we'll cast our Karn. Oh, it only works on non-creature artifacts. Alright, do we have anything to fish out? I don't think we do, actually. Oh, we have Vexing Baubles. Sure, we'll get a Vexing Bauble. We'll cast it. Let's go get a Swamp. We'll cast another Rack. I don't want a Smallpox because they'll sack their 1 ring. Another Karn. Animates the 1 ring. Trinisphere doesn't really matter. This is another deck that was pretty popular at the Pro Tour, I think. Still activate my Vexing Bauble. Let's play Rabs. Let's attack with our Goblin. Attack Karn, I guess. I guess we'll Smallpox. Oh, it costs an extra because of Trinisphere. We'll sack our token. And a Swamp. Alright, they're gonna take rack damage. And they're continuing to take ring damage. They chose not to sack their 1 ring, which maybe they might have thought about doing. This all is dust. Kozilek's Command. That's a really good card. They're gonna scry forward, draw a card, and make a bunch of chumps. And they're digging in their sideboard. Cityscape Leveler. Yep, they're going to start doing horrible things. They're going to sack their board for it. They got rid of my Rabble Master. Bolts. Alright, let's animate our Bobble. When you cast a spell, exile target permanent. So it's just a 6/6 right now. It's tempting to sack this now to draw a card. Just to see if I can, like, Blightning them or something, because they would die. Or even just draw another Lightning Bolt. Or Kroxa. There's so many draws that would be lethal. Of course, anything I draw is going to cost 3 mana. But, like, a Blightning... I think I'll block the Eldrazi and then sack the Bobble. Cityscape Leveler. Okay. Oh, they cast this guy. This is they're different cards. They had 2 cards that do this when they ETB. Okay. Oh, my Bobble's activated abilities can't be activated, of course, because of their card. More cards. Well, I think I'm just dead here, right? I'm taking 10. Well, let's see if they attack Karn. Let's see how they attack. If they swing all out at me, I'm dead. Yep. GG's. Too bad. They were dead on their next turn because I could bolt them and rack them, but... Kozilek's Command, man, that's a good spell. That was a clean 0-5 for Modern Hate Rack in MH3 Modern, and almost a total sweep. We did win a game in there, and there were certainly some close games. So, problems with the deck. We often found ourselves, like, where we had our opponent right where we wanted them, or close to where we wanted them. But, like, we ended up ripping a couple of bad cards off the top. The deck just needs some more card selection. We do have the 2 Surveil lands, which did come in clutch a couple of times. But I think, like, for this deck, Faithless Looting isn't legal, but maybe, like, Mishra's Research Desk could be really good for this deck. I like that card, actually, for red decks as a form of card selection. I think that would be great in this deck, actually. A couple of Mishra's Research Desks. And the whole premise of the deck, let me say, is certainly janky. Like, it is kind of cool if you can chain Smallpox into, like, Molten Rain, into Pillage, and, like, get your opponent with, like, top decking with, like, 2 permanents on the board. But in practice, like, it's hard to get that to happen. And even if you do, the deck doesn't close out games. And that's point number 2, is I think we need to go up to the full 8 racks. So, like, add Shrieking Afflictions 2, 3, and 4, and cut some of these other cards, because we did see that happen a couple of times where we had our opponent right where we wanted them, top decking a board very light on permanents, but just like we had no clock. and we just like draw land, draw a fatal push. Well, they have no targets, et cetera, et cetera. We weren't able to seal the deal. I think going up to a full 8 rack effects would be a way to go for this. The deck also has, as we saw, like dealing with Renin 6 is extremely problematic, and main board dealing with like Urza Saga can be problematic too. Although you would think that the Molten Rains make that less problematic. I guess in the match that we lost to Urza Saga, it was really Renin 6 that was more the problem. So yeah, replacing some amount of Fatal Push and or Lightning Bolt with like Shieldred's Edict or the uncounterable 2-mana 1 Judgment. Inaki, thank you for the follow. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Replacing a couple of Fatal Push and or Lightning Bolt with that card so that you can kill Renin 6 would be advisable. Yeah, so those are the main issues I have with the main board is get up to the 8 racks and have a plan for dealing with Renin 6, which we lack right now. So we saw, like, the Modern has kind of moved past Liliana, the Veil, largely, and it's because of Orcish Bowmaster. Orcish Bowmaster just renders this card so much worse than it normally should be. It's still good in a deck like this. I guess it's part of the reason why decks like this aren't that good these days, is because Orcish Bowmaster is so good against this card. Because it just nullifies the -2 effect, basically. And Liliana is really... It's the kind of creature where you want that to be as powerful as possible. You want to play it against mid-range decks that don't generate 2 bodies for each time they summon a creature. So main board, add the Mishra's Research to desks, go up to 8 racks. Probably cut a Lily, cut some of this other stuff for those inclusions. The sideboard, we never really got to see the Rabble Master go off. I think, again, this is another card that Modern maybe has moved past. I like the idea of changing your deck post-sideboarding so that once your opponent has boarded out the removal, you can present a deadly mid-range deck. I don't know if Goblin Rabble Master is the correct creature to fulfill that role in this deck because it's a 3-drop and because it, dies to everything. I was thinking... a Bone Crusher Giant might actually be good, just because, it does die to Lightning Bolt, but, like, it does damage when it does so, which our opponents do take 6 of damage from all the Molten Rains, Bolts, Smallpoxes, and, and Racks, hopefully. So I could see just swapping out the sideboard Rabble Masters for some Bone Crusher Giants. Yeah, our plan for dealing with Urza's Saga wasn't the best. We probably need more hate dedicated to it, like some Alpine Moons, maybe going up to 3 Pithy Needle effects. We also got kind of hurt a lot by our opponent's artifacts, which we don't have a good plan against those. 2 Brotherhood End is too painful to us as well, because all of our sideboard artifacts get hit by Brotherhood's End, and our racks get hit by Brotherhood's End. So I don't think that's really the way to go as an answer for Urza's Saga. Something else might be good. There's plenty of good, like, red artifact removal. Fatal Push is good against Urza's Saga, of course, too. But, there's got to be something else. By Force. I think there's another... By Force is a card that doesn't get played very much, but it's like a red sorcery and X where you just destroy X artifacts. That's pretty good. Another thing I would say about the main board, actually, it could use a sweeper or 2. Like, maybe Toxic Deluge. That was just made legal in Modern Horizons 3. I could see including 1 in the main board and maybe 1 or 2 in the side. Because, yeah, we did get punished by, like, go-wide decks quite a bit, which Smallpox and Lily aren't good against. So I would want to tweak this to include at least 1 in the main, maybe 1 or 2 more in the side as well. So those are my thoughts about Modern Hate Rack in MH3 Modern. It wasn't quite the meta breaker that I thought it might be, but I think it's just it's a little bit stuck in the past, and Modern has kind of moved on from the time when some of these cards were good. In principle, I think it could be made good, and I'm going to continue trying to make it good and iterating on it in future versions, probably including more MH3 cards and the changes that I have just talked about tonight. But that's going to do it for this session. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below if you like off-meta, off-kilter MTG content, and I hope to see you in the next MTG broadcast. Have a good night.